Good morning, friends. I have my breakfast here that I normally eat. This is the 230 grams of egg whites, one whole egg, a little bit of hot sauce and pepper on there, and then I have 60 grams of oats with some raisins in there, about 20 grams of those, and that is fucking excellent. I can't wait to eat that. And I have my multivitamins here. These are the daily ones that I take. These are performance vitamins. I'll go over these in a little bit, and then I have all my supplements that I take in the morning in here as well. So we just got a shipment in yesterday, this big ass box, I'll show you in a little bit, of all the supplements that we take on a daily basis. So we order like a month's worth. It ends up being like 500 bucks a month in fucking supplements. That's crazy. But I'm gonna break down everything that I take, everything that I've been using this prep, and then give you maybe a little bit of like information, tips on fat loss, and why I take everything, like exactly. When I take it, how much I take of it. That way it gives you a little bit of insight. And again, whenever you take like supplements, you don't wanna take shit at random. Like you at least wanna know why you're taking it, but also the amount that you take is not gonna be the amount that I take. So I definitely want to make sure that we clear that up. So I'm going to finish this breakfast. We're shaving the dogs right now. Well, Nagar is shaving the dogs right now. Yeah, you are shaving the dogs right now. So I am going to eat my breakfast because I don't want...
I love how you see my efforts as your own.
Yep. I'm going to finish my breakfast because I don't want to eat on camera. I think that's pretty disgusting. And I get irritated. It's one of my pet peeves when people are like swallowing.
Me too.
Like, oh my God, oh fuck it.
Drinking water, holy shit.
I think drinking water is worse than chewing.
Worse.
It's worse than chewing for me. Like hearing somebody gulp, I'm just like, I'm gonna punch you square in the neck. So I'm gonna finish up my meal right here, and then we're gonna get our day started. Happy Saturday. We are now 4 weeks out. All right, let's talk supplements. Now, when you think about taking supplements, you gotta first keep in mind, what is the goal? You know, I think all too often, you know, you'll have people that try to take supplements for just no reasons at all. They think it's like a cure-all for something. They think it's just going to fix all their health issues. Or they think it's going to get them results that doing something different would end up actually servicing instead. So it's not a replacement for anything. It's you take it in a targeted way, and it's meant as a supplement, right? Not a replacement. So it's meant to supplement something, augment something. It's meant to increase something, whether that be fat loss or muscle gain. Whatever your goal is, supplements play a crucial role in that, and you want to find what the goal is first so you can design a supplement stack around that goal. So I'm going to show you some of the things that I take today and explain some of the things that I use it for, and then why I kind of chose this, and then how much of it I take and when I take it exactly. So let's start off with just kind of going through this box, and then I'll show you what I get. So I get a lot of stuff every single month. So I start off with a whey isolate protein. It's called Flex through Lifetime, which, by the way, I don't want to go on a tangent about why I take Lifetime supplements, but they're superior in just about every way imaginable, okay? In terms of testing, in terms of quality, in terms of the amount of money that they can actually put into the ingredient quality. Anyway, this is one of the first supplements I order. So we order about, I think, 4 of these a month because both Nagar and I use it. Now, there's different types of protein, okay? There is, casein protein, there's isolates, there's hydrolyzed wheys. You know, depending on what it is that you're looking to accomplish will really depend on, what type of whey protein you want to take. So with isolate, for instance, isolate's very basic. It's just protein, essentially. They try to remove all the excess fat and carbs out of it, so it's almost strictly just protein. So it's less calories. So isolate's something that you want to take, relatively speaking, like when you're trying to lose weight, because there's less calories in it, okay? So isolate protein, right here, that's what I take because I'm going to cut right now, okay? So whey protein in itself, it shouldn't replace meals. It should be an additional meal. It should be like a supplement protein that you do like after a workout so you can get some quick protein into your diet. So I only have 1 shake a day. I do about 4 scoops of one of these, and the serving size is 2 scoops, which is 20 grams of protein, so I get about 40 grams of protein in my shake. So whey isolate, that's one of the first things I do. That's actually one of my meals. I mix it with oatmeal, like I mentioned in the past. Okay, so we get about 4 of these a month. And good quality protein, you want to make sure that it's always sourced from New Zealand. And they also have NSF certification. That basically means that the whey protein is cleanly sourced, because New Zealand, there's like laws and restrictions around their agriculture and their farming. They don't allow them to put any pesticides or anything in their grass. Their cows are non-genetically modified and tampered with. So New Zealand is generally a great place to where you source protein from. So it has to be New Zealand grass-fed whey. I think that's pretty much a standard. And then on top of that, it has to be NSF certified, which means they test it for contaminants. So a lot of companies, they'll order raw materials and then they'll backload them and they will push them off to other companies to manufacture them because those machines are incredibly expensive. So what they'll do is another company will make another company's product, you know, because it saves the first company a little bit of money. And the issue with that is they're not just making your products, they're making other people's products. Okay, so one thing you want to consider is it NSF certified, which means does the company itself have a third party that comes in and tests for purities and impurities? Like what's the concentration of the protein, and is there any contaminants during manufacturing process, mixing process, packaging process? You know, anything that's going to interfere with the purity of the protein, and make sure that it tests for it. So it has to be also NSF certified. Shut up. All right, next we get is something called Glow. Now, Glow is basically a fish oil. Now, something about fish oil is you need to make sure that you source it from anchovies or sardines, small fish. And if it's not sourced from small fish, it probably has heavy metal toxins in it. So they have a screening process through NSF. You see it's NSF certified right there. I don't know if it's going to be able to pick it up. Okay, it has an NSF certification on it. And what this does is it tests for mercury specifically. That's one of the heavy metals that's extremely toxic to the human body, and it's ubiquitous inside of fish. So you want to make sure that it comes from sardine or anchovies because they have very little to, if not no, traces of heavy metals and mercury in them. Okay, so you want to make sure that you get fish oil that's sourced from that. Fish oil is good for anti-inflammatory reasons, you know, and that's one of the main reasons that I use it. It has cardiovascular health benefits. It helps improve circulation. It's going to help with joint irritation because it helps remove some of that inflammation from the joint itself. And also it can have some sort of positive effect on fat loss. So I take this fish oil for inflammatory reasons, fat loss reasons, and overall cardiovascular health. So that's what I would do. I take about 4 of these in the morning. That's the serving size. I do usually do it after I work out. It really doesn't matter what time of day you take this. You just want to take it consistently. So we each get a fish oil as well. And then hydrate. So I'm a huge advocate of hydration. I think it's probably one of the most important factors that people miss out on. And what I mean is, in the morning when you wake up, your body is in an incredibly dehydrated state. And in order for your body to actually get water into the cell itself, there needs to be a high amount of pressure. Because when something shrinks from dehydration, it compresses, and the inside of the cell has so much pressure in it that you can't actually get water inside of it. So that's what electrolytes do, is it will help force water into your cells to rehydrate them. Especially if you're working out early in the morning. You're going to want to make sure you take some sort of hydration supplement. And what I like about this one too is it actually has like things like copper inside of it, right? Like there's expensive like trace minerals that other companies just don't actually put inside of it that have significant benefits in terms of overall health function that you need to make sure that are sourced in the supplements that you're getting, right? So, you know, Lifetime ends up going above and beyond with that in that regard. They have this flavor called strawberry lemonade. It's a brand new flavor. It's fucking fantastic. So what I'll do with hydrate, I used to take multiple scoops a day, but I am trying to be very cautious of how much extra sodium I add into my diet. So what I do with this hydrate is I essentially, oh shit, there's actually no sodium in it. Anyway, I try to keep a tight eye on my electrolyte concentrations because it can cause fluid retention, water retention. So what I do with this is I just take 1 scoop first thing in the morning, right when I wake up, with my aminos, and my glutamine and my creatine and my L-carnitine, and I'll show you all those things as well. So hydrate, fantastic supplement. This is a hydration substance. Take it in the mornings or drink it while you work out. And if you feel like I don't know if like you're into drinking or something like that's not my thing, but if that's yours, this would definitely be something that would make sure that I would supplement on the back half to make sure that you rehydrate your body, because usually hangover symptoms are just dehydration. Okay, so hydrate, we get that as well. We do a couple different flavors. Nagar likes the blood orange, lemon lime. I also like the strawberry lemonade, so we just kind of mix it up with that. And then the dailies that I showed you this morning. Now this is important. Okay, look, here's the reality, is you're never going to get enough trace nutrients inside of your diet. It's just not going to happen. The food today just doesn't have it, and you're going to need to make sure that you get it in some other source. You know, even if you ate perfectly in a perfect world, your body's not going to get everything it needs, especially if you work out about 3 to 4 days a week and you burn up all those nutrients inside the body. So inside of this, there is two things. There is both an AM and a PM vitamin complex. So I have the Rise, that's the morning one, and then I have the Rest, which is the PM one. Pretty simple, right? So with the Rise, it has something called T-creen in it, which is a natural stimulant. It's not like caffeine, it's not gonna make you crash, but it's a natural stimulant that kind of like gets the mind engaged. So it gives you some sort, it has like an energy matrix inside of there, and it has an enormous amount of vitamins inside of it, all that services functions to help wake your body up and put it into more of that excited state. So you need different nutrients when you wake up versus when you go to bed at night, right? So when you wake up, you need things that wake your body up naturally. When you go to bed at night, you want things that help you go to bed. So one-a-day vitamins are fucking bullshit because your body needs different vitamins at different times of day to service different functions, okay? So you want to get an AM vitamin and a PM vitamin, and that's what I do is I take these AM ones and I take these PM ones. I let the people who are smarter than me figure out the things that my body needs, okay? So in terms of these, the way that they actually blend the ratios, in terms of the quality of ingredients inside of here, this is grade A. And a lot of companies, what they unfortunately do is they know that you can't tell the difference in ingredient quality. So what do? They skimp on it because it ends up saving them money that they can use for marketing costs to help push their product out to get eyeballs on it so more people buy it so they make more money. Okay, so they will skimp on things like ingredient quality, and they know you can't tell the difference because you're not really going to feel that significantly different if you're not used to taking a high quality vitamin in the first place, right? They know that you're just going to, okay, maybe there's some sort of placebo, it's making you feel better. But I could tell you with certainty that these AM vitamins wake me up like insanely, okay? And it gives me very good concentration and focus, you know, good mental stimulation, almost like a nootropic feeling. And then also the PM vitamins. The PM vitamins, they put me to sleep like a fucking baby. I wake up drooling sometimes. Or when I stand up in the middle of the night, I almost feel like I'm fucking drunk, like I'm just wobbling around because my whole body is so relaxed that my muscles just don't engage properly to keep me up. So the serving size, I just take on these 3 AM vitamins with my breakfast and 3 PM vitamins with the last meal of the day. So I do that with those vitamins. What else we got here? Rally. So we get a bunch of these. So these rallies right here. We get 5 of them? Or we get, yeah, we get 5. Okay, so we get 5. So EAAs. EAAs. Now, if you've ever heard of BCAAs, don't waste your money, okay? Because your body needs all the amino acids, not just the branch chains. That's what BCAAs stand for, branch chain amino acids. You also need the essential amino acids, the ones that your body cannot manufacture, that it also service for different functions, okay? You need all of the amino acids. Don't get BCAAs. You want to get something that has both of them inside it, BCAAs and EAAs, okay? This has a complete amino complex in it, which means it has everything that your body needs to repair muscles, okay? Now, amino acids are like the bricks, okay? And the building is your muscle, okay? This helps you build muscle. And the most crucial time to get this in is when you're working out and first thing in the morning. First thing in the morning, your body's going to go through a catabolic state, right? All night long, you have been fasted. When you wake up in the morning, your body has a high likelihood of breaking down muscle once you start activity. You need to make sure that you stop that, especially if your goal is to build some muscle or maintain what you have. So I put this in the morning right when I wake up to stop that process. I also drink it when I work out, when I'm actually forcing blood into the muscles that I'm training so it can help start to repair those muscles as well, okay? That is very significant, very important. You need EAAs. I drink these anywhere from 2 to 3 times a day. Really, this isn't going to cause any damage. There's no nitrogen group on it, which means you don't have to worry about any type of kidney issues. You don't have to worry about it loading too much on your, essentially your renal system, your kidneys. Like with high protein diets usually causes a little bit of taxation too. So with this has no calories to it too. So you could essentially take this all day when you're on a diet and it won't really affect your calorie load. So which means this will help you preserve muscle when you're in a deficit, which means when you eat less food, your body will not hold on to as much muscle. But if you give it this, you're at least giving it the raw materials without the energy so it can help maintain the muscle that you do have. Okay, so EAAs, very important. I take 1 scoop of this in the morning, and I take 1 scoop of this when I work out, and 1 scoop when I do cardio. So about 3 scoops a day. That's why we get so many of these. So we do about 5 of these a month. They also have a cherry limeade flavor, and it is fantastic. Cherry limeade is definitely one of my favorite, like, artificial flavors. Artificial. There is no artificial sweeteners or anything in this. I use monk fruit extract, which is another thing that I like too. Okay, let's talk about glutamine. Glutamine is another thing that I add in the mornings. So I do about 10 grams in the morning, which is about 2 scoops of this. And the reason why I do glutamine is because your body has many different functions that it uses glutamine for. The most important one is going to be for muscle repair. It's also for your stomach health. It helps repair your stomach lining. So if you're eating a lot of food and you're putting a lot of stress on your GI tract, you're going to want to make sure that you're also giving it the supplies it needs to repair itself too. So glutamine is really abundant inside the stomach lining. It will help with your digestive health, with your intestinal health. And also glutamine removes ammonia from your body. And ammonia is essentially built up nitrogen, okay? And what ends up happening is when you're actually breaking down protein, because when you work out, your body's breaking apart proteins in the muscle, or when you're eating a lot of protein, okay, this will help neutralize the ammonia inside your body, okay? So when it's circulating through your body, it can actually help neutralize the ammonia, which is a poison and a toxin to your body when it builds up too much, and it can remove it. So it'll help neutralize it, take it to your liver, and then you'll pass it when you go to the bathroom. So glutamine can help with breaking down some of the waste in your body. It helps your digestive health, and it also is muscle protective, which means it helps you build and retain muscle. Okay, so another thing that you need to take here, okay, glutamine, first thing in the morning. This one's called Armor from Lifetime. So this is a vitamin D3 and K2, and essentially I take this just for like immunity and bone health. And that's pretty much all I take it for. I think a lot of people, they lack vitamin D, so having excess sources of it can definitely be advantageous because vitamin D essentially acts like a hormone in your body. There's way too many things that it actually does for me to even list in a video. It literally does hundreds of things inside the body, so I just try to take this in conjunction to all my other health practices to make sure that my body maintains good health. I will tell you vitamin D's biggest benefit is definitely probably mental health. In terms of anxiety, depression, even like early on-stage psychiatric illness, they notice in all psychiatric patients, they have a deficiency of vitamin D, so they know it plays a crucial role in your psychiatric health. So if you're worried about getting old, if you're worried about getting decrepit, your memory going, you know, make sure you take some of this D3. They also partner with K2 because those two things work in synergy with one another. And then one of my favorite products from Lifetime ever, their pre-workout. Now listen, guys, listen. When it comes to pre-workout, there is a lot of fucking clout, okay? And a lot of it's basically just a bunch of food colorings and fucking oversaturated caffeine, like artificial caffeine androgynous. This stuff has been probably the best pre-workout I've ever taken in 15 years plus of working out, okay? This shit slaps, okay? It has no artificial colorings in it. I believe what they color it with beetroot, so it doesn't have any type of artificial colorings in it. The caffeine comes from coffee bean extract, okay? They also have theanine in there, which helps you metabolize the caffeine and actually utilize more of it. There's kerosene in there, which will actually help drive into the muscle to help it with endurance long term when you take it for extended periods of time. There's some B vitamins in there. Highly concentrated beta-alanine, that's the thing that gives you the tingles. And then it also has citrulline, which is a pump agent, which helps you expand your blood vessels and get more blood into the muscle. And that's important because when you take caffeine, it actually shrinks your blood vessels. It's called constriction, vasoconstriction. And that's not good because you can't get oxygen and blood into the muscle, right? So you want to make sure that you have some sort of dilator inside there that'll help open up those blood vessels to counteract that effect of caffeine to make sure that your body drives all those nutrients into the muscle itself, okay? Very, very, very important. So make sure that you're taking a pre-workout that has citrulline in it. It actually has a natural source of caffeine. There's no artificial colorings or sweeteners in there. This actually uses monk fruit too as well. And yeah, this shit does not make me crash. This has been the only pre-workout I've ever taken in my life that does not give me a crash. It's only 100 milligrams per scoop. So I'll do about 2 scoops on like smaller days like arms, shoulders, stuff like that. On back and leg days, I'll go 3, even 4 scoops, okay? And I've noticed even at like a 400 milligram caffeine load, it does not cause too much, actually it causes no crash at all. I actually feel very concentrated, very stimulated, very focused, and I haven't yet had an issue with a crash with this, and I've been taking this for a very long time. So this is my favorite pre-workout. I get the Tropical Breeze flavor. I believe they're coming out with some new flavors here, like a blueberry watermelon or something like that. But I love these supplements, guys. They are fucking fantastic. And let me see, is that it? And that's that. Oh, wait, what's this? Oh, just another Armor. And that's that. And that is about 5 bills worth of supplements there. So roughly about 500-ish bucks a month to take all the supplements. And you know, a lot of people say, you know, that's expensive, right? And I would argue to say it's not what it costs, it's what it's worth, right? And if something's important to you, you find reasons to spend money on it. Like there's some people that buy very expensive cars even though they can't afford them, just because they like the idea of being seen in that and it makes them feel good. And maybe, you know, it's just their preference, right? I'm not judging anybody, but people have their own reasons why they do things. And with me, my health is paramount. It is the most important thing, period. Right? Aside from obviously my wife and, you know, faith, right? But your health is extremely important, because if your health isn't in order, you can't show up for your family. You're not going to be a faithful person because you're constantly dealing with sickness, and it will riddle your life with issues because you are the central element of your life. And if you're not taking care of yourself, then you are going to feel that in the back half of something, whether it be your career, whether it be hobbies, whether it be friends and relationships. It's going to definitely affect you. So health should be your number one priority. And if you're negotiating with how much money you have to spend on that, and you're negotiating with, you know, your health as a whole, you need to learn about self-prioritization, and you need to focus on that your time and your energy and your health are the most important things that you possess. And if you do not invest into them, I promise you're going to live a life of fucking misery. Okay, so don't want to end this on a weird note or anything like that, but that is the supplements that I take. That's everything I take. And yeah, so, you know, if you got some information from that, fantastic. You know, if not, well, thanks for watching. All right, so we got a couple other things I got to do today. I'm going to actually try to shave today. We're going to put some of this tanning stuff on, and then we'll see where we go from there. I'm pretty sure this is just going to be a weekend vlog today, because I got a lot of video yesterday just talking about supplements. It's about like a 20-minute video, and I think it's very valuable, and I don't want to cut any of it because I want to make sure that if you have any questions on supplements, or if you're even curious what I take, I want to provide you with that full clip so you can take some notes, you can learn something new, and you could design your own supplement stack. So it is 5:48 right now on a Sunday morning, and I'm going to be going to the gym by myself. My wife is in bed sleeping right now, and I just got excited last night to go to bed because I felt rested. All Saturday I didn't do shit. We got chores done, car washed, we got grocery shopping done, we did our cleaning and our house management tasks, and we just pretty much chilled the whole day, and it was nice. And Sunday will probably be the same, and I can tell you that I definitely need that because the fatigue level goes up. And I did experiment by yesterday also having a little bit more carbs, and I woke up this morning and I was lighter again. So I'm just trying to figure out, you know, because you can try to understand the chemistry, you can try to understand the science, but at the end of the day, everybody's body responds differently to the when you refeed it, you give it more food during cuts. So I'm just kind of experimenting around, learning my body best and seeing how it impacts my physique as I increase my food, because I have about 4 weeks left and I don't want to experiment the very last week. So that is that. So I'm going to head to the gym now. Today we got some back. I may add some hamstrings in there. And maybe touch on the biceps a little bit. So I will see you at the gym.
There are natural dominant generations, early adults, ages 22 to 44, and those in midlife, 45 to 66. No matter how close the parents and children of these generations might seem, there is always an underlying tension, along with some resentment and envy. There are natural differences between their values and how they look at the world. You want to examine this tension and determine which generation tends to dominate and how this power dynamic might be shifting in the present. You will also want to see which part of the larger historical pattern your generation might fit into. This overall awareness will yield several important benefits. For instance, your generational perspective tends to create a particular kind of myopia. Each generation tends towards some imbalance as it reacts against the previous one.
So this entire chapter has been about the law of generational myopia, which essentially means that there's different generations that each have their own value systems based on what they've experienced from their parents that were offset from their parents, like your grandparents. And it says that there's essentially a loop and a trend that happens within history. The Romans call it the saeculum, where it's 4 generational blocks of each around 20 to 22 years that each encompasses a generation. Like we have millennials, Gen Z, there's baby boomers, there's the nomad generation, Generation X. So there's all these different generations, and they all have different value systems. Maybe they're more conservative, maybe they're more artistic and creative, maybe they're more ambitious, maybe they're more reclusive and homebodied. And each generation has their own value systems depending on what they've experienced and their exposure levels and just the current events and timeline. And technology plays a factor in that, world events, so on and so forth. Anyway, it's very interesting. It kind of talks about overall grand psychology, and like big businesses actually study this because when trends come up, trends usually reflect value systems. So what they'll do is they'll actually look at, okay, well, this generation, based on the current events, the timeline, what's going on in the world, and also the generations before them and the generations anticipated after them, what sort of value systems can I make inferences on, or can I make predictions and assumptions on, and then create products and services that go within those guidelines? It's kind of like how BlackRock is buying up all the single family homes because they know generation like Y or something like that, or Z, whatever the last generation is recently, the youngest generation. They're the artist generation who value like non-materialism and lack of ownership. Like they don't want to own anything. So BlackRock understands that. And same thing with the back half of the millennial generation. They're more about cohabitation and collaboration, and they don't really care as much to value home ownership. So when BlackRock or something like that knows this, they start to buy up all the single family homes because they know that people are going to gravitate more towards renting something than buying something, because they've been threatened with long-term financial security with 2008 crash, and all the different turbulence inside the economy as of the last 20 years. So yeah, it's interesting. So big businesses study this. You should study it too. It'll help you, I don't know, just develop your own psychology and also learn to navigate the world. So that's that. Let's go get a lift in. All right, so let's get this on the road today. I am going to start off with some RDLs, loosen up my hamstrings. So in order to do that, I need to first get myself some heel wedges so I can elevate my toes. So I will be right back. All right, so I got the heel wedges. So I like to use these with my RDLs because they help stretch my hamstrings a lot more, especially because I got a little bit bigger calves and they get tight sometimes. So I can't get that full range to stretch my hamstring. So what I do to make up for that is I get these heel wedges, and the heel wedges allow me to get better range. And I've done these in a few other videos, but I've been throwing in hamstrings with back just to increase some volume, because I'll kind of do back almost twice a week. I'll do some upper back stuff for my rear delts, and I'll do some mainly lat focus work as well. Okay. All right, let's get this started. So again, big stretch here, back of my hamstrings, back of my calves, get everything loosey-goosey. Okay. I also like to use a little thin bar. It's like a training bar that you use for CrossFit, because it's a little bit thinner. I think it's only like a 35 pounder, but I end up liking it a lot more. good stretch. I get a lot of questions on what I do for like recovery. Like, do you do cold plunging? Like, what do you do? Like yoga? No, you know what I do? I fucking rest. I sit on my ass, I watch a bunch of anime, play a video game, and just recover. I feel like the whole purpose of recovery is to take your body away from any type of movement. I mean, I train like anywhere from 5 to 6 days a week intensely, and I'll throw in cardio sessions. So I want to try to make sure I'm getting some rest, because I'm also on my feet all week, like, 12 hours a day in a high stimulating environment, lots of light, blue light, lots of stimulating activity, sounds, noises, people. I'm emotionally, physically, mentally engaged. So I try to actually turn all that off and just almost go fucking full zombie mode some days. At least sit in bed, sit at a table, and just relax. It's very needed. All right, again, I'm gonna finish up a few more sets of these RDLs. It's not gonna be anything crazy. Maybe slap a 45 on there, do 2 more sets. I'm gonna listen to my music, and then we're gonna start hitting my back today. What do you say? Let's see how these carbs have done for me yesterday. tell you what, I sure as hell feel full. Let me turn off these backlights here. Oh, I definitely feel more full, per se. Let me put this shirt on. I would definitely go as far to say as I hardened up with that carb up, and I'm pretty happy with the way it actually tightened everything. I can still see striations in my quads. I can see my hamstrings. Wow, the glute tie-in too coming in. Everything hardened up. So I am very happy with the way these carbs have tightened everything up. Let me see if I can show you the quads. I don't know if it's overexposed there or not, but if you could see, striations coming through, a lot of fullness. This one's even nastier. And the hamstrings, damn, I'm trying to get that in the light. Here we go. Right there. Yeah, whoa, that calf. Overall, very happy with the way everything's sitting. 4 weeks. Let's see what else we can do, boys. All right, so that is it for me today. I have to go charge the car now, so I'm gonna go do that. I also bought my wife a whole bunch of these little honey stinger things. She doesn't know yet, but she loves these, and I'm gonna surprise her with them. And she also wanted to start eating them in the mornings with right before alpha, because she does like a CrossFit style training, and like you need carbs before you do that shit. It's like high intensity training. So I'm gonna get her these instead. She hasn't been eating at all, so hopefully this gives her a little bit extra kick, and it also makes her very happy. So, all right, so I'm gonna go charge the car, and then I'm gonna head home, and I'm gonna make a beef meal. So I will see you in a little bit. All right, so I'm finishing up charging here. I have about 9 minutes left. I've been watching an anime series that I recently picked up, and I watched a lot of anime in my life. I like long extended series, like shonen animes are like real nice. Good character development, you know, good action scenes, and I don't know, maybe it's just a nerd inside of me. It's kind of like people that like Marvel or comic books. So I'm sitting here, I'm finishing up. My Hero Academia is like this anime I've been watching. I'm already about like 27 episodes deep into it. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. So it passes the time in the evenings when I'm trying to decompress, or when I have like filler time, like when I'm charging my car. It takes about 20-25 minutes. So I'm going to finish watching a little bit of this on my phone. I'm going to head back home, and I got to make my beef meal and just, you know, hang out for the rest of the day. I also got a meal prep today. So I think I'm going to end this vlog here. You know, thanks for watching. I know this has been a shorter one per se. This has only been like at least a span of 2 days. But I had some extra time this weekend, and I wanted to make sure I got a little bit more to show you in terms of, you know, like the supplement protocol and the things that I take. I just want to continue to provide some sort of value in any way that I can. And also, you know, like when I first started off, I know I've done a lot of personal research through people's experience, not just kind of reading dry, bland research material. Just like trying to understand why, you know, people use the supplements that they use, or like why they do the workouts that they do. And when I first started off, I put a lot of time into YouTube and trying to understand that through the perspective of others, and I hope that I can offer that as well. So yeah, I'm going to continue to do that. So I'm going to finish up at this charging station, watch a little bit more of my anime, and then I will be done for the day. All right, thanks for watching, friends. I will see you on the next one.